Hello everyone, welcome back to another video review or movie. Well, I guess it's a video review more, if anything. I'm reviewing more than one movie, so. In this video, I promised I recorded a Scream review of the original 1996 Scream. Went to go see it in theaters for its 25th anniversary, so I decided to, basically, in that video I said I'm going to review all the Scream movies building up throughout the months, so. But I also said that I'm going to be doing this video that is recorded currently right now on Wednesday the 13th, and I'm going to upload it on Wednesday. I'm wearing my Friday the 13th shirt. It's not Wednesday. It's not I Heart Wednesday. So in this video, I'm a bit behind. I'm always behind, fuck. With homework and work. Haven't had work this week, though, really, so I could have had time to review it, but I don't know. I've just been doing other shit. Other shit. Although the rest of the week I do have work, so I'm getting this video done now so I don't have to worry about it. Because Halloween Kills is coming out, and The Last Duel is coming out, and people will rather have reviews of those. Those are pretty big movies coming out, especially Halloween Kills over The Last Duel in comparison. So the movies I'm reviewing today are James Bond's No Time to Die, A24's brand new drama, fantasy, horror film, Lamb. I'm also going to be reviewing The Addams Family 2, and Dear Evan Hansen, which I've now seen twice, amazingly. So, I'm going to review these, and not in the order I just said. I'm probably going to review them, like, in the order from one people least know to probably the one that people most would care about. So, let's start with Lamb. Let's get into Lamb. I have notes on my side over here. Holy shit. Let me put them up so I can read them. Alright, so, with Lamb, I went into this not really knowing much about what it was about. I didn't really go in knowing really what it was about, other than it's an A24 film being marketed as a horror, even though I was hearing people say it's not really a horror. You got to kind of get that out of your head. It has senses of dread. It can be creepy at times, but it's not really a horror film. You're getting something completely fucking different by the end of it, and you will see. And upon seeing the trailer, it basically just looked like Satanist lambs, and then maybe a lamb that was half human, half lamb would be the plot. And that first thing I said, Satanist lambs, not really. That's not really a thing. The half man, the half lamb, half person thing is a real thing in this movie. And I'm not gonna say it's a spoiler. There's like 2 shots of it in the trailer, and like that is a real element put into this movie. So the story kind of revolves around this girl Maria and her husband. Is it Ingmar? And they live in Iceland, kind of in an empty, no populated area. They're kind of like away from civilization, kind of like they're living near people. They are in the modern day, I would assume. It felt like it was supposed to be like maybe 2010s. I assumed that. I don't know. But they are away from people, out in the middle of nowhere, Iceland. They kind of they're growing their own farm. They got their lambs and sheep to take care of. And eventually one day, this sheep on the farm gives birth to baby lamb, and they ended up seeing the lamb, and the audience ourselves don't see the lamb for a while. We just see like the head. It's a cute little baby lamb, and they kind of decide, instead of letting them raise it, the mother sheep raise it, they are going to raise it on their own. And fucky crazy shit starts happening. Eventually, like 20 minutes later, they reveal like, oh wait, the lamb has fucking human legs. It's half human, half lamb. It's supposed to be a big twist if you didn't see the trailer, but I feel like even if you haven't heard of it, that's the way I'm going to get anyone interested to go see this movie, because what else can I really say about the plot without getting into spoilers? And I don't really want to with this movie. I think people should see this one for themselves, because they're going to have a lot to think about and say after they've left this theater. It's going to be a conversation movie for sure. If you go with your girlfriend or with your friends or with just anyone, you go with not on your own, you go with someone, you are going to have a conversation after the movie and be like, okay, let's talk about this real quick. What the fuck? Because it is a weird film, guaranteeingly. I've seen weirder, believe it or not, but this is definitely one of the most bizarre films I've seen. With that being said, though, I really did like it. I really fucking liked this movie. I've had some time to think about it to get my exact rating down, so we'll get to that later, but things I want to get in the positives first. It is beautifully looking. Like, beautiful looking. This film, in my opinion, we've seen some great films from A24 this year. We got The Green Knight, we got Solo, we got this. All have their own unique styles and their great cinematography. Like, that's the thing I've credited on all of them. I haven't reviewed The Green Knight. I'm probably not going to. It'll probably just be in my ranking list because I kind of we're way past that point when that came out. I did get the 4K recently, so if I decide to do a video on it, it might be a video essay, but I don't think I will. But you will hear my thoughts on it later on in the end of the year when you see my list of all the movies I saw, and I review and rank them. So, but with Lamb, I think this is just the one that, in terms of the look, I was like, damn, this one is like the most appealing to me. I think the director, whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, of this movie had such a vision, you could tell. And reading interviews with like the lead actress and the director, you can like find interviews on it. They both made it seem like they had an idea of what the film was, as it was based on an old folktale, but they didn't necessarily know how it was going to end or every scene that would play by, how that would play by. So they decided to make it all vague and kind of like up to the audience's interpretation. And the ending here, when it ends, it's like, oh fuck, yeah. Give some people time to think about what that really means. And there's a debatable level on if it even has a real meaning to it, and if it's not just like a really fucking weird, bizarre ending just to have one. I'm not sure, because when I was reading the interviews, it did make it seem like they didn't know 100% where they were going. But as a visual style, in terms of how they wanted the film to look, the shots they wanted, the ideas that they wanted to present visually towards the audience, maybe not directly in the story and in the dialogue, because I don't know if it's a little vague to talk about, but visually they knew what they wanted to do. You can tell from the performances are all great, but if there's like, again, the one standout thing, it's the visual effects on Ada the Lamb, who is the lamb of the movie, who's half human, half lamb. Looks really good and very much blends into the overall sense of this film. And the cinematography, the lighting, the look of the film is simply fucking gorgeous. It looks so well done. There is one shot that is like this tracking shot with the main mom character, Maria, and she's like walking to get a gun out of a shelf and then walking outside, and it's this long tracking shot. And the scene just before it was so beautiful and light and bright and happy, and it was so different. And then it's just dark, stormy, and it's this long tracking shot that I'm like never gonna forget. Like when I saw the scene, I was like, holy shit, they didn't just do that. And then it kind of, at the end, that what happens there, related to the gun scene with the mom, it has a big climactic ending, kind of reversed, that you'll see what I mean when you see it. You should see it. Whoever watches this, please fucking check out Lamb. Automatically, I'm saying this, that it's worth the watch. The performances are great. The humor in it is great. There is humor. It can be funny. Like the second act, especially, once this new character named Peter shows up, Peter makes the movie like quite funny because he's this interactive character. And there's some great scenes in that second act that I'm like, oh, this is genuinely like a fucking great movie. Some elements are too vague. I'm not a big fan 100% of how they ended it. I do feel that it was a little out of nowhere and felt rushed. I also didn't like the in the first act it's a bit slow. I mean, I'm okay with slow burn, but sometimes there's like slow burn where it's like, alright, but this feels like it didn't earn anything from that first act other than to just get our characters to the point where we know that they have this like lamb, half human, half lamb. And I didn't know how to feel about that. Once it's revealed, the whole movie you are going to think that like Ingmar or Peter like fucked the lamb. And that's what you're going to be thinking the whole movie, like, wait, what? Why is it half human, half lamb? There's an explanation at the end again. And not all that stuff works, but it is, you could tell they knew what they were doing visually. It is beautiful to look at. There are some really funny moments and some really beautiful moments, and overall, the performances are great. That it works enough for me to say that I would give Lamb a 7.5 out of 10, and I'm going to stick with my rating on that. Next movie up to review, The Addams Family 2, starring none other than Oscar Isaac, Charlize Theron, Chloe Grace Moretz, Nick Kroll, Bill Hader, Snoop Dogg, Bette Midler. Fucking hell, dude. What a crazy cast that you get for just a movie that is so kind of like useless at the time. Who the fuck really cares about Addams Family anymore? Like, who really cares about this fucking franchise anymore? It feels just so bogged down. Like, the average kid has not seen the 90s films, I guarantee you. The average 7-year-old who's coming here expecting Nick Kroll to talk like this and make shit jokes as Uncle Festa. The audience that's gonna come see that, this fucking 6-year-olds, are not coming in with knowledge of how great those 90s films are, or how, like, kind of dark the original show was, like, way back then. I do. I own the original show entirely on DVD, and I own the fucking 90s movies on Blu-ray. They're great to have. I don't own the 2019. That film for me, it wasn't awful, but it didn't work. You know? Like, if I could see it for, like, $3.99 on Black Friday, like, if I could see, like, a $4 price range on that, I would pick it up for a rewatch, because I don't remember everything about it. I remember the first 10 minutes, I was like, oh, these are some dark jokes, some funny ones. Like, I was like, these jokes are funny. This feels like Addams Family. And then it just goes kind of off the rails. Like, they didn't have a full story to tell. Other words, it was just a cheap movie, because the animation is not that expensive, you can tell. And it was just supposed to be this, like, marketing gimmick to be like, oh, the adults know what Addams Family is. The kids might know that theme song, like, da-da-da-da. They'll know it because they've heard it in ads, or they've heard it in other shit. And then it looks cute and dumb and animated, and look at this big cast. So it'll get adults in, it'll get teens in, and it'll get kids in. Butts and seats type movie, and you can make it for cheap compared to most animated films. And fucking hell, it'll get a sequel like The Addams Family 2. And in the sequel, we get the most cliche, basic story you can do for any fucking animated film. Send the Addams Family on a road trip across the fucking U.S., and then reveal dumb family twists along the way, and then at the ending they're family and they're all good and they're friends and they love each other, and the fucking end of the movie. It's exactly what goes on in this movie. The plot here is basically that Wednesday Addams is wanting to not really be, like, pushed by her family. Like, she doesn't want, like, her dad to be, like, complimenting her and being attached to her, kind of being, like, too clingy to her as a daughter and loving everything. Because, you know, it's Wednesday. It's meant to be, like, the complete opposite. In a normal movie, it'd be like, I wish my dad loved me, or something like shit like that. You would want more like that element. But in this movie, it's, of course, they're dark. So they're like, I don't like happiness. Get the fuck away from me. I want to be sad and alone. And it's a great element. So by the ending, there's a big happy reveal to that. So it's not like she's just constantly always depressed. They have that happy ending that's genuinely happy. But when you're first watching, it's just like, what the fuck? Come on. It's funny. It's kind of funny that she just wants to be depressed and alone. Her goal is to just murder Pugsley as, like, her luck. It's just so funny. With this being said, not many of the characters have a lot of things to do. Like, this film is very minimal for everyone but Wednesday. Wednesday is the head front of this film, which is kind of good, because the first one had a fair balancing act, and made sense to have that. This film, though, is, like, definitely, like, in my opinion at least, very focused on Wednesday Addams. And I just feel like that's clear to me, what they were doing. Because when they go on this road trip, the question is, like, the dad makes the road trip happen. You know, he wants to go on the road trip to get with Wednesday, to be, like, reunited as a family. He wants her to spend time with him and realize, like, he's a great dad, and not be annoyed by him anymore. And simultaneously, we have this plot with Bill Hader as the villain, who's trying to send out these two people, one played by Wallace Shaw, and the other one who's just a big, muscular fucking man. And they're there to be like, hey, my daughter was switched at birth, and we think Wednesday might be our daughter, actually, and not your daughter. Even though it's so fucking obvious it's like their daughter. Like, she's gray. These people are all white. Like, why the fuck does Wednesday look exactly like her mom? Like, what the fuck? It just makes no sense. I mean, it's a kid's plot, so it might be, like, twisted to the kids, but, like, if you're, you know, like, where it's gonna end up. It's just kind of dumb that we have that plot thrown in there. And the fact that the character... Wednesday's so smart. Why the fuck would she fall for that? Come on. And by the ending, she does figure it out before, like, the villain even reveals himself. Because she is smart. That's the point of the character. Wednesday's, like, super goddamn smart, but also a dark, brutal, would murder her brother type smart. I liked some of the humor. There's, like, a few jokes that I'm like, are pretty funny. There's one where Uncle Fester is just, I get, like, you don't even know it's Uncle Fester. You see them, like, sitting on this rock in the middle of the woods. They're camping out before they go on their trip again in the morning on this one night. And then fucking Pugsley gets knocked out by a giant bag of lion shit, and that wasn't that funny. But even though he gets fucking shit thrown at his face and he flies, they're all talking about stuff, and then you just see Uncle Fester pop up off the ground like that. Like, he was just laying, and you thought he was like a rock, because he's so fucking fat. He's like me times 20. Like a goddamn ball. You know, like Kingpin and Spider-Verse? It's basically fucking Uncle Fester, and he's just there laying on the floor. like a rock, and I don't know why that joke made me laugh. Some of the murderous humor, like trying to kill Pugsley, was pretty funny. Early on, there was some solid jokes, but then they revolt into like stupid shit. Like they go to this bar in like Texas, and there's like gang bike riders who are like, we beat the shit out of everyone. That joke was funny. When they go to the biker gang in that place, all the bikers do is just fucking rip people's heads off and beat the shit. They, like, literally, it doesn't matter what they're doing. They can serve them a drink and be like, here's your fucking drink. And they just punch them. It's great. I like that idea. Like, it's just like, they think that Texans are just so bike riders, and Texans are aggressive, violent all the fucking time. And they're just like, ugh, ugh. They're all grunting, even the fucking muscular women with the group. I don't know. I thought that was a funny element. And then they ruin it by, like, bringing in Wednesday and, oh my god, I always forget the fucking butler Frankenstein's name. God damn it. Why the fuck did I forget it right now? Oh, I know every other character's name. What the hell? Okay, well, that's my bad. I forgot his name right now. I'll probably remember it, like, as soon as I'm done talking about it. But they make him, he's like, Wednesday's like, show him what you can do. Like you think he's gonna beat the shit out of all the bikers, like, that's the joke. Instead, he goes to the piano in the corner, and then you hear that piano track play, like, and you're like, oh no, I know what song is coming on. And then he starts fucking singing like an angel, like, I Will Survive. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what's the joke here? And then all the Texans are like, oh, he's a great singer, and they all start dancing to it. It's like, oh, it's one of these cliches. Why the fuck do they do this in, like, every movie where the joke is like, oh, these big muscular men who have no emotions but wanted to beat the fuck out of people, they listen to Metallica. And then the running joke is someone will play, like, a cute song, and they'll all be into it, be like, oh, dance, we're fucking fat and dumb, now we like this goofy music, and we're happy, and we like these characters now. Like, no, I hate that joke. That joke has been done so many times. Does anyone actually find it funny? When it happened, I was like, cool, I like the song I Will Survive. This scene is genuinely one of the worst scenes I've seen all year in a film. It pissed me off. So when you can go from dark humor like that to that type of shit, and I would say about 60% of the jokes are more like that bar joke than there are. There's a few, like, 30% of jokes that might land because they're dark humor. 70% of the jokes completely fall flat. Shit humor, butt humor, fart humor, the joke at the bar, fucking dumb characters, people being fat. That's like every joke in this movie. And then there's the few dark humor jokes that do work. And its story's weak too. It's like very predictable and obvious. I just did not really like this movie. I don't know. I don't want to give it a shit review because I wasn't tortured. Like, I think it's because I watched it with my friends and we were able to laugh at it and make fun of it in some ways, but if I had seen this on my own, I probably would be giving it like a fucking, like, 3. But in fairness, I don't have much more to say about it anyway. I would probably give it a 4 out of 10. I'm not going to watch it again. I think I gave the first one like a 5 out of 10. Like, I tolerated that as well. But, yeah, not a good movie. Don't go see it. It's dumb. Even though there's some funny moments, some tolerable areas, it does have technically a good message. And the animation slightly improved. Slightly. Not a lot. Very slightly. And those are the good things I can say about it. The voice acting's all great, and Bill Hader does do a great job as the villain, but that's just Bill Hader. He's great in anything he tries to do. Alright, so next up, we're going to review Dear Evan Hansen, a.k.a. the elderly man movie, the elderly man known as Benjamin Platt. I went to go see this with my friend as, like, I was going to check it out anyway on my own time. I didn't know when, but I have a feeling I wouldn't have seen it for like 5 weeks or until it hit Blu-ray unless I had went with my friend. So I went with him to go check out Dear Evan Hansen. We saw Transformers the movie, the original one. They showed that in theaters. Then we saw Dear Evan Hansen, and then later that night went to Carrie. But Dear Evan Hansen, we had a lot of fun with. I knew what, like, the basic plot of Dear Evan Hansen was, not just from the trailer. Like, I knew that before. I hadn't heard any of the music. I didn't know any of that shit. I just knew it was popular, and I knew the basic plot. But I went into the movie with the trailer in mind going like, wow, this looks like it actually, like, the trailer looks pretty emotional and like a really pretty good movie. Like, it looks really solid. Minus the fact that Ben Platt looks like he's like fucking 40 in the middle of high school. And this isn't trying to be mean. I know everyone's gonna say like, well, old people always play high schoolers. Look at Rachel McAdams and Mean Girls. I'm like, but there's something about Rachel McAdams and Mean Girls. Like, she can pull it off. There's like, she feels like Ben Platt just looks kind of creepy. And it's not making fun of how Ben Platt looks in real life, really. Like, he has like a beard now. He looks better with that. But when he's like clean shaven, sweaty, and they give like this makeup and his undershadows of his eyes, and he's supposed to be this depressed 16-year-old teenager. 17-year-old, sorry. I don't believe that shit. I'm 18. I'm 18 and I look like I'm like fucking 20. Ben Platt then looks like he's like 40. I'm sorry to say it, but he's like 29 years old. Is he 29? 28? I feel like he's pretty like decently old. And you see it the whole film. Like, I know that I should actually be reviewing the movie legitimately right now and getting into the real criticisms, but shit, I have to say that is the biggest qualm I have. That, some of the filmmaking choices and editing choices, and it's a little overly long for what this film could be. Even considered that there's songs cut out from it and some scenes from the actual musical, from what I know, cut out. I know that from a friend who told me that shit was cut out from this movie. And even then, it just feels like too long of a movie. I will say, though, Ben Platt is good at acting and really damn good at singing. It's just every moment feels so creepy or uneven. Something is, like, weird. Every time a song comes on, you're just like, the fuck? That's awkward. Like, he'll start singing, and it's obviously supposed to be this emotional scene, but it just comes off as creepy every fucking time. And the songs are catchy, too. There's, like, 3 that actually don't come off as creepy, that are, like, really well done all the way through. One of them was a new song, the Anonymous ones, I think, and I thought the song by the mom at the end was really good, and Sincerely Me, that was really good. Those 3 were really well done. Every other song in the movie, some of them were catchy. Oh, there's one other one, the one with, the one that, what's her fucking name, sings. The girl from, Caitlin Dever sings Zoe in the movie. She has a song that she kind of starts out singing. I forgot what it was called now, but that song was also good. Every other song in the movie is so awkward, and it's mainly because it's started by Ben Platt in an emotional scene, and I don't feel like I believe in it that much. Story overall, I should go into, if you don't know what Dear Evan Hansen's about. Basically, it's about a kid named Evan Hansen. He's kind of this depressed, anxiety-induced teenager, and over the summer, he broke his arm falling from a tree, is what it said. I'm just gonna spoil this. He's depressed. He tried to kill himself. But he goes to school, broken arm, it's his senior year, it's his first day of school. I think it's the first day. I assumed that's what it was going when it started. I was like, is it the first day of school? I'm pretty sure. And they're all there. He sings a song about his life and shit. And he's told by his therapist to write this letter, that you title each of them Dear Evan Hansen, as you talk to yourself to sort of inspire yourself and see really what you're going through by personalizing the message to you in time. Maybe you can read it in the future, or just to have it as like this thing to remember, or to help you make you feel better, or if you are feeling down, to say why you're feeling down. That's sweet, and I get the idea of that. Makes sense. A therapist would assign that type of thing, to be fair. And in hindsight, he's doing the message in school. He writes a good one, then he goes to school, and then he's like, alright, today's been a pretty fucking bad day, here's the reason why. There's this kid named Connor who's also depressed, and yells at him in the fucking, near the lockers or in the hallway, and then eventually he apologizes to him, and then he signs his cast when he's in the library, and Evan types his new letter that's like more sad and about Connor a little bit. He mentions Zoe that he likes, and he's just had a bad day at school, and so Connor ends up grabbing the letter from the printer to give to him, and then he reads it. He's like, this is about me and my sister? You fucking did this on purpose. You started talking to me in here, and now you're doing this and shit. And then Connor runs away, kind of an emotional scene, and now he's worried because Connor has the letter. He's going to put it online. A big twist comes out. Connor has killed himself, and he finds this out because a few days after Connor tragically kills himself, Connor's parents, who are also, Zoe's parents, show up at school and try to give him the letter and let him know, like, we know you're Connor's only friend and his best friend, and he signed your cast, and they, like, now it all comes together, because the letter is written Dear Evan Hansen, so they think Connor addressed the letter to Evan, when really Evan wrote it for himself, and then it all becomes a confusing lie, and he feels like, and Evan kind of feels obligated, one, to have, like, a second family and friends, and to have a form of something to talk about, and it becomes this giant lie that, in the end will fucking fall apart, as all of these emotional movies do that have this type of lying to people twist constantly, where that's like what the plot has to revolve around. Man, all I can say is, I don't know. I didn't hate this movie. I want to be fair here. I did not hate this movie, but I didn't really love it. Like, there's so many awkward moments that are so entertaining to watch with friends. I wonder if I watched it on my own, what I would feel. I really want to know if I had seen this like in a theater on my own, would I like it? Like, I have no idea. When I see it with friends, like my friend I went with, you know Gabriel, I've reviewed a few movies with him on here. We're going to review Halloween Kills soon, I'm hoping. We were laughing our fucking ass off. We just kept making fun of every scene. There's the scene where Ben Platt walks into the principal's office because he's called in there, and I was pretending like I was the voice of like the principal. The principal walks up to him because he sees him walk in. I was saying out loud like, "You must be Evan Hansen's father," just because he fucking looks so old. And we just kept making that joke like everyone mistakes him for fucking Evan's father when he's really just Evan, because he just looks old. I don't know. I would say it's a solid film with some solid scenes, some funny moments. It is technically well done. The problem really being is the story is kind of weak. The editing is really weird. There's some weird editing choices I won't say. I can't really describe it. It just looks colored weird. There's a lot of jump cuts. When songs start, I mentioned they're awkward because they're immediate. You know when a song just bursts into song numbers? Sorry, I'm turning on my fan. I'm hot. You know when a song the song numbers come on, you're like, oh, that was immediate, that was awkward. They don't just come on. They, like, happen. They, like, instantly, like, within a nanosecond, shit will happen. Like, they'll ask him a line of dialogue, and he'll start singing, and I'm like, oh, shit, he's singing now? And the way they shoot it, and the way it's done, and the way it's edited is so awkward. And the fact that Ben Platt just kind of looks, like, older and kind of creepy compared to everyone else around him, it's fucking creepy, and it's weird. It just doesn't work. And when that happens in, like, fucking 60% of the movie, it becomes awkward and kind of dissipates, like, a lot of the powerful emotional stuff in the movie. It is fairly entertaining and watchable. I will probably pick up the Blu-ray, weirdly enough, as, like, to watch it with friends again, because that shit's fun, but I don't know. I don't have a lot, again, to say about this movie either. I think it has a solid story. The cast is all good, especially, Julianne Moore, who doesn't get a ton to do, but she's really fucking good in it. Ben Platt is great at singing and great in the movie, but it just comes off awkward, so I can't really give a lot of credit to him. And it is just based on a musical. It is a little overly long. I thought it was okay, though. If I'm being honest, it probably deserves a 4, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Don't kill me. I am sorry. I just thought that it was fun to watch. And I know that it probably doesn't deserve that. But I'm going off what I thought of it personally, and I would watch this again. It's not great. It is overly long. There are elements that don't work. It is awkward, sometimes creepy, but it's funny. And some emotional moments do work, especially the last 10 minutes are actually really well done, not even to the rest of the film's credit. And some song numbers really did work. So I had fun with it, and I would say see it. You might have fun with it like I did, or you'll absolutely hate it if you don't have that experience to even go into. The last film to talk about in this fucking, like, 35-minute video, or probably longer, is James Bond's No Time to Die. Fucking yes. We are here now to talk about it. It was supposed to come out April 2020. That was a while ago. Wasn't it supposed to come out at one point in 2019, and then they delayed it to April, and then because of COVID hitting, like, right at the end of March is, like, the big spike, then it got delayed to, like, this next year, and then further into the year, and now here we are, October. The release date was October 8th, and got put into theaters, and Jesus fucking Christ. I saw it a week ago. I went to the Wednesday screening of it, and so I should have had time to review it, but I just didn't. Had work, and then I just haven't reviewed it in recent days. But goddamn it, I really goddamn enjoyed No Time to Die. Say all you will. This is not the greatest Bond film. It follows the cliche trails of a Bond film, and it knows all the niches of a Bond film, and it does them. With this being said, and it's long, it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes. It could be shortened probably by 20 minutes, even personally, I can see that. As a Bond fan, especially Daniel Craig's Bond, I think he's the best James Bond we've ever had. Goes above Sean Connery, sorry. For me, he just really worked. And Roger Moore. I'm a huge Casino Royale fan. I think that's still the best Bond movie we've ever had. I think Skyfall falls in the top 5 of all-time Bond films, and I think this one just falls under the top 5, but that doesn't mean I didn't really enjoy it. It is a culmination of Bond. This feels like a James Bond movie with some other elements and some new story plots that could come back, maybe won't come back. I think they should. The way that some stuff was done, I think it should bring in some past elements that they set up in here. As in, like, I mean that as in, like, they set up, like, a new 007 Lashana Lynch, but everyone's talking about, like, who's going to be the new James Bond? Like, who's James Bond? That means they're going to reboot the series. I wouldn't mind seeing a film about Lashana Lynch's character or Ana de Armas' character. I'm just saying that now. They don't have to be James Bond, but if they are in the universe, I wouldn't be mind seeing films in this Daniel Craig universe, even though, like, Daniel Craig will not be playing Bond anymore, as he's mentioned. He just doesn't want to play the role anymore. I thought the story was pretty decent. Basically, overall, Bond is with the new girl from Spectre. Why did I just forget her name? Leah Sedux, I always read her name. Her character from Spectre, and they're together now, and then he's on this run, and then Bond finds out something about her very early on in the movie. He's like, we can never see each other again. They split up. Type emotional shit that Bond always has when he actually finds a real love interest that he really does love. And this sends Bond away, and now we're noticing all the agents of Spectre are dying. People are getting taken off left and right from that shit. There's this plan with this fucking weapon that basically will poison everyone. If the gas goes down and get them personally inside the DNA, it will kill them all. And we're trying to find out who's doing this. And if you've seen the trailer, you know it's Rami Malek. Rami Malek's the character. I already forgot the character's villain's name, but I'm just going to call him Rami Malek the villain. And while the villain in this movie is a weak link, it is not the greatest villain in Bond history. I still think Mads Mikkelsen is the best villain we've had in terms of all the characters. He does a really good job. And Javier Bardem is actually really good too in Skyfall. But in this movie, I just didn't know 100% what to feel about the villain, because it is the most basic, creepy. He sort of lives on this mysterious island. He's kind of just this overall killer, crazy guy who has a tragic past and wants to stop Bond and the agency and shit. It's the usual villain that you can get in a lot of Bond movies. Although, of course, the Daniel Craig films are quite more serious than they are goofy and crazy action, fucking bitches type movie. I'm sorry to say bitches, but come on, let's be fair. If Bond were at the tone it was, go to the, like, 70s Bond, 80s, 90s Bond films, and don't tell me that, like, if Bond was like that in the modern day, if Daniel Craig's Bonds weren't so grounded in a more believable character study, he wouldn't be like, come over here, you fucking bitch, and then he would just have sex with women and drink and then kill people. He would just be this cocky asshole. Don't tell me that's what he wouldn't be if they modernized him and didn't take it seriously. Taking it seriously is great, and I like this approach, but man, you'd be fucking bitches. That's what it would be. Just saying. Look at those old Bond movies, they're pretty nuts. Octopussy, Moonraker, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? So, I thought that this film was great, as I mentioned. Story-wise, pretty solid. Villain-wise, pretty solid. The action is fucking spectacular. It is shot so well. The acting is fucking great. I want to get into the action. There is a sequence. The opening chase scene is great, but there is a action sequence okay. Damn. Well, I have to get into spoilers to give away this whole act. No, I don't really have to. Okay, no. So at the ending of the movie, they're at, like, the villain's base. It's pretty obvious they're going to go to wherever the villain is. It's always a Bond film type trope. And at the base, there's this one tracking shot of Bond, like, going through a hallway, fucking killing everyone, going up the stairs to get to this room, and it's awesome. It's all done in, like, one shot, and it was so well handled, and I don't want to go through the whole scene, but that is the best action scene in the movie. There's even a cool kill with, like, a fucking watch that explodes anything electronic, and that shit was hilarious, what they do with it. Oh my god, there was a pun to it. That was so fucking funny. I think I just blew his mind. I think that was the pun. Oh my god. Now that I'm remembering it. Yeah, get ready for that shit. That shit's nuts. I really dug the hell out of the ending of this film. I've heard the ending is what's left people very mixed on the film. I've heard people been like, it wasn't as satisfying as I wanted. I felt very satisfied in terms of the action, in terms of the emotion, in terms of what it does for the characters and what it sets up. I think the ending was fucking perfect, what they did. It feels like the culmination of Bond, of this James Bond, Daniel Craig's. This feels like the ending. This doesn't just feel like it's thrown out there. Also fair to mention, probably one of my favorite Bond songs ever. I thought No Time to Die by Billie Eilish really suited the visual intro and has a lot of meaning into the film. And I was like, holy shit. Might be like top 3 Bond songs. It's probably the most catchy to me. I really dug the hell out of this one. So good job, Billie Eilish. Yeah, it's a great song. Really worked for me. What other elements I talked about? The humor. This is probably the most humor of the Bond films, like the Daniel Craig Bonds. This might be the most humor. There's not a ton of jokes, but there's still like a good level of humor, and all the jokes work. It is a surprise that they like chuckle-worthy and they landed. They felt fitting for Bond. They know when to do cheesy callbacks and have puns, like I mentioned, the mind-blown one. I blew his mind. Like, that shit was great. Shaken Not Stirred, still in here, you know. This is Bond. Jeffrey Wright comes back in the movie as Felix. He's great. Billy Magnussen has a role. I didn't know he was in this. I was like, Billy Magnussen's great. He always plays, like, the comedic roles, but it's fun to see him sometimes play, like, the serious role. He has a serious role in here. If you know Billy Magnussen, he's from Game Night. He's, like, the fucking dweeb idiot character. Love his character in that. That's one of my favorite movies in recent years. Even comedies or not, it's one of my favorites recent years. Do I recommend James Bond, No Time to Die to everyone? The hard part is I couldn't say if you're not a Bond fan, you won't like it. I feel like, better yet, you are a Bond fan who has seen all the Daniel Craig films at minimum. You will really like this movie. Otherwise, I don't really know. At least you're going to have fun with it. I imagine the action and shit would be impressive enough for people to like, because it is great action, great comedy. What else could I say? Man, I really want to get into spoilers for No Time to Die. Maybe I'll have to do a spoiler review for this one, because there's so much shit to talk about in this movie. Great character usage in some ways. There is one thing. I mentioned I didn't like the villain of the story were kind of bland. At the same time, where it leaves Bond at the end, as much as it's a satisfying culmination of James Bond, there's one other character where I feel they left that so open that I did not like where it went. I feel like when it happens, it's like, okay, we're jumping into the... I mentioned Lea Seydoux' character, who he is in a relationship with in the movie. I'm fucking forgetting her name, and I'm pissed off. Is it also Maria? Part of me wants to say it's also Maria. I'm probably wrong. It starts with an M, I think. From Spectre and shit. That girl. And it's not her fault. She gives a good performance, and they have some... But they just rush us into stuff in the relationship. Like... The possibility of them having a kid, the ideas of how they met, and that they're already in love, and that first 20 minutes we're supposed to have that huge emotional connection. I wasn't a big fan of Spectre and where they left that film off, so I didn't really even have that. We're just thrown into shit in Bond's life, and I just don't believe where we put Bond immediately in this film worked. But at the same time, at Bond himself, his own story that he's going on, aside from that, is great. And so that's why I'd have to give No Time to Die an 8 out of 10. For me, an 8 out of 10, I think, affirms everything I think about the film. It's entertaining as fuck. It is well done. It has an emotional ending. I would watch it again. I feel like it's a great film. It's an 8 out of 10. I really don't know much else I could say. It's not perfect. I debated between 7.5 and 8, but I think I'm sticking with my 8 out of 10. I think that's the score I'd give it. So, have you seen James Bond's No Time to Die? Have you seen Lamb? Have you seen Addams Family 2? Have you seen Dear Evan Hansen? You seen any other movies that I have not talked about on this channel yet? I don't know. Maybe you have. If you have, shit, let me know. I like getting the 1 or 2 comments on my videos that say they actually watched it, and that's funny to hear. So if you hear this part, do comment. If you didn't, I won't really care. But what did you think of Bond if you did see it? I would like to know people's thoughts, especially Bond fans. I want to know, like, really what they thought of this film. Because there are some mixed things, without getting into spoilers that I won't talk about, that I know will leave people divisive. So, I enjoyed the film, and I hope everyone else who sees any of these films enjoys them. I want people to like all films. Even if I didn't like even if I didn't like fucking Addams Family 2 and was mixed on Dear Evan Hansen, maybe you fucking think those are the best films of the year. Hopefully not. But maybe you do. So coming up, I'm going to be reviewing Halloween Kills. I think I'm going to upload this first, but you should see an audio review of Scream. I'll do some editing over it, so it's not just fucking black screen over it, or just an image. It will mostly be an image of just Scream, but I am doing an audio review of Scream. You can listen to that. I will be reviewing Scream 2 in November, Scream 3 in December, Scream 4 in January, and then January 13th, the opening night, I will go to Scream 5 and review that for y'all. Other stuff coming up. Halloween videos. I'm going to do a video on all the scary movies. Not like all the scary movies I see. I am doing a video on that. But I'm talking about Scary Movie 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you've seen those movies, I'm going to be doing a review and ranking video on them. Still in October. I got the review for Dune will happen soon. Halloween Kills, The Last Duel, Ron's Gone Wrong, French Dispatch, Last Night Soho, Antlers, so much shit. Expect like 8 more videos in October. And I'm really going to try to get them out as long as I'm not working or busy. And I already have, I'll be honest, I have my Scream review recorded, I have this recorded, and currently working on audio commentary for Paranorman. I'm just editing a few things around it. I did already record the commentary, so that is also happening. So I got ahead a little bit, so you'll see some videos soon. But until then, till Halloween Kills in terms of reviews, or Scream, but yeah, in terms of Halloween Kills for new reviews, I will see you at Halloween Kills. I'm going to be doing a vlog. I'm going on a trip next week. Before I go, I'm going on a trip next week, hoping to get some footage, vlog, do some shit with my friends, and post like a 30-minute video. That would be fun. We're going to San Antonio for me and my friend Angel's birthday. His birthday's on the 22nd, mine's the 23rd. So we're going out from the 22nd to the 24th. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait to do that. So that is all. Goodbye.